In 1945, on Christmas night, there was an incident in West Virginia, USA, which is still remembered to this day. A man named George Soder was celebrating Christmas with his wife Jenny Soder and 10 lovely children. Every face was bright with joy, but who knew that this night was going to turn into a nightmare? A nightmare that has been an unsolvable mystery to this day. It so happened that it was about 1 o'clock at night when a sudden fire broke out in the house. George and Jenny run out with their 4 children, but the 5 children who slept in the room above disappear somewhere forever. Neither did they ever find the bones of their bodies, nor any other signs. Did they really burn in the fire, or were they kidnapped? Was this fire really an incident, or was it planned? Welcome to Decode TV videos again. Viewers, this is not just a story, but a mystery that still surprises the world today. Let's try to understand each and every aspect of this unsolved mystery. George Soder was a hard-working Italian immigrant who was strongly against the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. This is why he was forced to leave Italy and live in America. Talking openly against the Italian dictator could have been a problem for him, but he never showed fear. He did trucking business in America, and fortunately, he also had his own house. His wife, Jenny Soder, was a dedicated housewife who took care of her children with love and discipline. On Christmas Day, December 24, 1945, Soder's children were playing with their new toys. It's night and the 5 children in the room above go to bed. At about 1 o'clock at night, Jenny feels smoke in the house. When she goes to see, it turns out that there is a fire in the kitchen for some reason. George and Jenny go out with their 4 children, but the 5 children sleeping in the room above remain inside. George tried his best to save them. When George Soder ran towards the window on the 2nd floor, he saw that his ladder was missing from its place. Then he thought that he should use his coal truck and reach the window. But when he turned on the ignition, the truck did not start and the other truck was not working either. Those who were present there tried to call the Fayetteville Fire Department, but unfortunately did not get any answer. Later, when somehow contacted the fire chief, the fire brigade reached after 7 hours of the accident. Everyone thought that there was a fire in the house for some reason, in which 5 children burned and left this world. But this case was as complicated as it seemed normal to see and hear. The next morning, when the investigation began, the officials also gave the same statement and closed the case. They said that the children were burned to death because of the fire. But this was beyond everyone's understanding. Because the bones of a human body cannot form ash even at a temperature of 800 degrees Celsius. Especially those parts of the bones that contain calcium, which also includes human teeth, do not form ash even inside the furnace. So how did it happen that when the house of Soder was on fire, not 1, not 2, not all 5 children's bones were found, nor any teeth? Later, forensics also confirmed that the duration of the fire was not so long that the bones could form ash. This was quite disturbing. That's when the Soder family immediately rejected the investigation report. The investigation team said that the reason for the fire was a short circuit in the kitchen. But George Soder said that he had recently got all the new wiring done, and there was no question that there was something missing in it. When George Soder tried to recall those moments of the incident, he remembered some things that indicated something was wrong. When he picked up the phone to call the fire brigade when the fire was on, his wire was cut. And this was also proven in the investigation that someone had actually cut the phone line of Soder's house from the outside. Because when the phone line breaks and cuts, its edges look different. When it breaks, its edges are not smooth, but when it is cut with a plier, the edges look very smooth. Later, Jenny Soder remembered that it was exactly 12:30 p.m. when the phone rang, and there was a woman next door who was laughing loudly. To which Jenny said the wrong number and hung up the phone. If the phone line had been cut at 1 o'clock and a strange call had come to it just half an hour ago, It meant that the phone line had been cut half an hour before the fire. This night was full of strange incidents. A few minutes before the first phone call and the fire, Jenny heard the sound of something falling on the roof. When she didn't hear anything else later, Jenny fell asleep. And after a few minutes, she smelled smoke. In addition to this, the ladder that George used to keep disappeared from there at the time of the accident and was recovered from a farm far away from home. How did both of George's trucks, which were working perfectly fine until a day ago, go out of order during the fire? Because of all these incidents, George Soder's suspicions turned into belief that his children had not died but had been kidnapped. But how did someone escape with him in all this noise? When the answers to the investigation were not equal to the questions, theories began to emerge. There is a strange story behind every theory. A few months before this incident, an insurance agent came to George Soder, who was forcing him to take home insurance. But when Soder refused to take insurance, he finally threatened Soder that you will realize this when there is a fire in your house. Did someone use the fire to distract people and kidnap the children at the same time? The second theory is that the Italian mafia did not like George Soder's open statements against the Italian dictator Mussolini. This is why the Italian mafia made him their target and took control of his children. Some people also claimed to have seen Soder's children in different places after the fire. A woman said she saw children in a hotel with a strange couple. Other reports say that they were seen taking them away in a car. As much as the mouth, so much talk. It was confirmed that Soder's children did not die because of the fire. So where did they go? Some new evidence emerges after a year of the incident. The investigation team, which had previously stated that the reason for the fire was a short circuit, was proven wrong. In the new investigation, it was found that the fire was deliberately lit. At that time, a bus driver was passing by, who said that he had seen some people throwing something like a fireball. A few months later, when the snow melted, a round object like rubber was also found near the house, which is called a pineapple bomb. Jenny remembered the sound a few minutes before the fire, which she had heard because something had fallen on the roof. Maybe it was the same pineapple bomb. George and Jenny spent their lives trying to find the answer to this mystery. They did not leave any stone unturned and followed every possible lead. They built a big billboard in which they promised pictures of missing children and a reward. About 20 years later, in the 1960s, Jenny received a letter. This letter had a picture of a man who looked a lot like her son, Lois. And in the letter, only this was written: did one of the 5 missing children really write this letter, or was it a prank? George and Jenny hired a private detective to investigate this letter. But no trace of Lois Soder was found. Years passed by one, but this mystery could not be solved. George Soder died in 1969. Jenny and her surviving children kept trying to find answers about their missing siblings. After George's death, Jenny did not leave the family home. She set up fencing around the house and built new rooms. In the rest of her life, she always wore black clothes because of grief. In 1989, after Jenny's death, the family finally removed the old and worn-out billboard that was set up for missing children. Did the Soder children fall prey to a tragedy or become part of a big conspiracy? This is a mystery that may never be solved. I hope you will like and share this video of Decode TV. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next video.